I'm Carole Owens, and this is Stockbridge Updates. Stockbridge, Massachusetts, 1789. The second paper in Berkshire County launched. It was called the Western Star, and our little area now had two newspapers. Now, although the Western Star was the second, wait for it, and I'll tell you something very special about the Western Star. The American Sentinel started 2 years earlier in 1787, and that was significant because that was the year that the Constitution was sent around to all the colonies to be ratified. They had finally gotten it together in Philadelphia. They had a written and a signed document, but now every colony had to ratify. The American Sentinel was very unusual for its time. Most newspapers were very slanted, very opinionated, and they made no bones about it. It was in the masthead, the Springfield Federalist. They made it clear where they stood on every issue. But the Western Star and the American Sentinel, the first and second newspapers in Berkshire County, Massachusetts, attempted to be objective. It was very unusual and lots of fun. And maybe not the best idea in the world, because the American Sentinel went out of business in 1 year and 7 months. They closed the doors. But I told you that I would tell you something special about the Western Star. The Western Star has published from that week in the fall of 1789 to this morning in the fall of 2025. It had to kiggle around a little. Changed owners 3 times, moved from Stockbridge to Pittsfield, and finally settled on a new name. It's the Berkshire Eagle. Okie doke. I have the great pleasure of introducing 3 very special, you're going to love them, people. The director of the Berkshire Waldorf High School, Steve Sagarin. Hello.
Good morning.
Student, Fiona, and student, August. Beautiful names. Steve, I'm going to start with you. You clearly have seniority. Good for you. The big news is the new school in Old Town Hall in Stockbridge. I hear that it was a dream of yours always to have a school like that.
Well, I wouldn't say always, but we started the school in the basement of what's now Berkshire Waldorf School. It was then the Great Barrington Rudolph Steiner School in Great Barrington in 2002. And we left the basement in 2004 because we had outgrown it. And I would say that starting in 2004, the idea that we would have our own home and control our own destiny was very much in my mind.
So what's it like when a dream is finally realized? We don't all have that experience.
I would say I spent 1.5 years walking around feeling like I was in a dream and almost refusing to believe that it was real, even though I could see the construction happening before my eyes. I think that when I spoke at our opening assembly on September 3rd, 2025, I choked up unexpectedly, and that was because of what it meant to have that dream come true.
I was there, and it was beautifully done. Fiona, what do you think of the new digs?
Wow, in comparison to the old building, it's actually incredible. Just like 2 stories, and you don't know where every single person is at all times because there's multiple, like more than 4 rooms. Yeah, I really like it, and it's really nice.
Does it aid in learning in any way?
Definitely. The rooms, like our old building, people would be walking in every class to go to the other room or to just go to the bathroom. And so now we're still interrupted from time to time, but definitely half as much.
August, how many years have you been at Berkshire Waldorf?
This is my third year. I joined as a sophomore.
So you were in the old Pine Street
I was.
school. How many times were people walking back and forth through rooms?
Through classrooms, five times a class, at least.
Wow. Okay, so what's the best part about these new digs?
The best part is probably the projectors in every classroom. Each classroom has a roll-down projector. The desks are much nicer. The seats are nicer. Everything about the school is better.
Now tell me, is there a lot of audio-visual in classrooms these days? Explain that to me, because there wasn't any when I went to school, trust me.
I came from the Monument Mountain Public School, and they had projectors in every classroom. So when I switched to the old Waldorf school, it was kind of moving backwards in the sense that there weren't projectors. So when we get new projectors in the new school this year, it's like you're going back to what I experienced in 9th grade, which was projectors in all the classrooms, which is nice.
So, Fiona, you have mixed media. I mean, that's your experience of education.
Yeah, I'm coming from the Miss Hall school after 2 years, and I would say, there was like projectors in every room. It was really nice, and like I would argue that the new building, I like it even more than the buildings in Miss Hall's. And, yeah.
Steve, let me ask you. I'm curious, how much of the curriculum is traditional teaching areas like history and English and mathematics or whatever form of mathematics?
Mm-hmm.
And how much of it is current events?
Well, I think it's largely traditional. Math through calculus in 12th grade, like pretty much anywhere there are good students. History through modern history. The students next to me are in a 20th century history course right now, and later in the year they have a modern U.S. history course as well. But I think current events isn't taught as a separate subject, but I bet if you ask them, they'll tell you it informs a lot of conversations in different classes.
I was going to ask that. August, I'd like to ask you, are you aware, or do you hold the opinion that you're living in extraordinary times?
Through specifically school, or through?
In our country.
Yeah.
Not specifically school.
Very much so.
You are.
Absolutely.
And how do you conceptualize that? This is so interesting.
How do I conceptualize it? Like, what do I think of everything going on?
Yeah.
Around the world, or
how is it different? Well, let's start with here at home.
So local news.
Oh no, here at home, the United States of America. Forgive me for not being
like
clear.
Politics and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy as ever, but it's what I've grown up with.
You know, that's what interests me so much, Fiona. I mean, at my age, Steve at his age, what we're experiencing is something very, very, very different. We're experiencing change in the way our government operates. But does it seem same old to you?
I would say that I feel like for the past couple years, at least, like with COVID and everything, we've grown up in a really different world than you guys did.
Yeah.
And so I look at the world with a different view. I do read the New York Times, but I guess it's so hard in like this small area to think about all the stuff going on outside and how it affects you. But I guess I just don't think about it as like, I know that it's going to impact us eventually, everything that's happening, but it just seems like something I've grown up with for my entire life.
No, I understand that. You know, Steve, Fiona said something very interesting. She mentioned the local context here. And I think I know, correct me if I'm wrong, that you and Darlene Teresa O'Brien, who is president of the board, think that integration in the local community is a piece of the experience and the education of Berkshire Waldorf. Do I have that right?
That's 100% correct. And that wasn't in our minds when we started the school because it hadn't been in any of our experience in the past when we were in school or working at various schools. But because we were so small, we thought initially it was really important to have the students out in the community, first in Great Barrington and now the last 12 or 13 years in Stockbridge. And it's been remarkable how the community has embraced the school. And so it sort of starts with the students being able to go out for lunch in town, but it includes the use of parks and library and basketball court in the new town hall, and then also just field trips kind of all over the place, Boston, New York, even Montreal, and international travel.
Do you enjoy that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
the,
a good...
The international travel program is my favorite part about the school by far.
Oh, now where have you been?
Germany. Yeah.
How nice.
The German class goes to Germany every other year, and then the Spanish class last year went to Argentina, and this year they're going to Spain.
And are you taking both languages?
No, I'm just in German.
Oh, okay. Are you in Spanish by any chance?
No, I'm in German, but I took French for 2 years before this, and I take Latin outside of school.
Did you when you took French, did you have any trip to France?
I did a 3-week language immersion program in Nice over the summer. It wasn't involved in school, but yeah.
How very nice. You know, I get the sense that Berkshire Waldorf, it has grown from the very beginning over the last 23 years. But I just feel like you're going to get a burst.
I hope you're right.
I did well. I have this positive feeling. Now, what do you think about growth in the population of the school, or what are the plus minuses?
I mean, now we have a large building, so the size isn't really a problem just in terms of the space. I would say that definitely the bonuses are just that there's like fuller classrooms and the teachers have people, like, to be honest, if 5 kids in my class are out, that's like half the class, it feels like at times, or even 2 people. It feels really empty. I think that a big plus about it being so small is that I get to know everyone, and that like I genuinely could call everyone a friend because I know them by name and like know stuff about them.
And I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about socially. Now, you came from a bigger school.
Yeah.
Coming from Monument Mountain, right? Monument Mountain.
Yeah, it was Monument.
And then you came to a smaller, but now this smaller one may be getting a growth burst. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I've definitely seen that. Last year, the freshman class was larger than the year before, and this year it seems larger than the year before. I'm not sure the exact numerical. But I prefer a larger school. I definitely prefer a larger school. There's more people to help clean at the end of the day. There's more people around the school. It feels like a larger school. I prefer a larger school.
A good practical fellow. More people to sweep up. That's great. What do you think if you grow? What are the plus minuses? And from the standpoint of your responsibilities?
Well, so we're always balancing 2 responsibilities. The first is very obvious, which is the best education for the students we have. And the other is the financial responsibility to keep it going. And so more students definitely contributes more revenue to the school. I do think there's a sweet spot, and I think we're actually getting close to it. We have 55 students this year, and I think between 60 and 80 students for us would be a full school. I just know from the point of view of our budget, I think we're sort of a boutique school, and we're always going to be. We're in a rural county. We're not trying to compete with large private or prep schools. We're not trying to, steal too many students from public school. We really just want to be ourselves. And as I say, I think, if we had 4 grades, 9 through 12, with 15 to 20 students per grade, that would be 60 to 80 students. And I think it would retain the small school feeling that we enjoy while including enough growth to, say, offer, a stronger soccer team or something like that.
Yeah.
Although the soccer team so far has an even record this year.
Oh, well, good. You know, I had a great experience one day at your school. I think it was the end of a school day, and I'm not sure why I was meeting with you, but I think I was meeting with you about something. And you said, come in to the circle. You know your circle?
Mm-hmm.
Now, tell everybody about that circle. That was a great experience. I loved that.
Good morning.
Fiona, start. Well, Fiona will do the morning, and you do the afternoon.
In the morning, I think we're missing it today, but all of the students, and the teachers meet in the large room upstairs in a circle. The seniors have their own corner, and we each greet, we go around and greet all of the teachers, and then the teachers announce things, students have an opportunity to announce things, and then we say a morning verse.
How nice. How nice. And I was in the afternoon circle. Tell us about that.
So these days, it's like at the end of the school day, when you do your job, you get dismissed by your senior who is in charge of the job. So you just leave right after your classes. So there's not an entire formal gathering in the afternoon. The main time that the entire school meets is the morning circle, like Fiona talked about.
Mm-hmm.
What was I in then? Do you remember?
Were you in the old school, which was much smaller? It was sort of more feasible to do a very brief closing circle.
Oh, so
and we
tell
discovered,
us about the closing circle.
Well, we discovered in the new building that it really wasn't. We tried it for the first week or so and then decided it wasn't really practical. When we did it, it was just a way of, the ulterior motive was that all of the students clean at the end of the day with the supervision of the seniors, and some of them were sneaking out. And we figured if they were required to report to a very community-oriented circle, then we would notice if they were absent. And so it minimized kids sneaking out at the end of the day. And it was supposed to be very short and sweet and just sort of an inspiring quotation or poem to send everybody on their way. So we've talked about bringing it back, but at the moment, we're not doing it.
What do you think? Bring it back or no?
I like being able to just leave once my job is done at the end of the day.
Okay. All right. Fiona?
I'd agree with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And neither of you would ever think of sneaking out, right?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't bring them to a TV station if they were that kind of kid.
Well, all right then. You know, I have read at different times about one of the goals of Berkshire Waldorf being, let's call it socially maturing or something. Yeah, that learning to look people in the eye, shake hands, have a firm handshake. And where I really saw the realization of this was when I came to a graduation program. It was the night before.
We call it Senior Recognition Night.
Thank you so much. I went to Senior Recognition Night, and everybody had such presence. Just well done. So where are you with that? Do you enjoy that? Do you see the value in it?
Yeah, I definitely do. I was really surprised the day that I toured the school. I was sitting in math class and I was really nervous, and I was like, oh my God, every single kid is paying attention in class, conversing with the teacher, even if they're not all helpful comments. Everyone's talking with the teacher, and I was laughing in class, and it was really fun, and that's what drew me to the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that comes from the smaller class sizes and the fact that sometimes there's a teacher that teaches your German class that's also teaching your seminar main class. So you really grow a really close connection with the teacher. Mm-hmm. And that lets you kind of talk with them in between classes, which is great.
Very nice indeed. The German teacher is
Ed Hammelrath.
Ed Hammelrath. Very personable fellow.
Yep. Golf coach, bass player, leader of the band, PhD in European history, and German teacher.
Well, you certainly learn the value of being versatile. Now, let me ask you, what year are you in?
I'm a senior.
You are. And what are you looking forward to?
This year?
No, your future plans.
I actually want to do an internship on a TV set next year with a friend of my aunt's. He's a screenwriter.
Well, my son's a television producer. Stay in touch. And what are your future plans?
My plan is to go to college.
And where are
next
you
year.
thinking?
State colleges in Massachusetts, UMass, Boston, maybe college in the city. I'll apply to both.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Yeah.
Good. And do you have an idea of your major? Or?
Yeah, I want to do something business or finance related, ideally. Maybe engineering.
Lovely. Well, all right. You guys are very kind of aware of where you go. I want you to know that I was in my junior year in college when somebody said, "Don't you have a major?" They explained to me that I'd better focus or I was never getting out of there. And I thought, oh, good, okay. Let's do that. I have to say something about private schools. Both my sons were in private schools, and my younger was at Hotchkiss. And every month I would get this thing in the mail. At the top it would say COD. And then down the side would be anything he got at the bookstore. Now, for reasons that I will never understand, it would say 1 pencil, 10 cents, 1 pencil, 10 cents, 1 pencil, 10, on different days. So one of the things I took care of immediately was I called him up and said, "Joseph, buy a box, please, buy a box." But the other thing was I had no idea what COD meant. Do you know what?
Cash on delivery.
Charge on Dad.
Charge on Dad?
And that's where
Good.
I got the bill in the mail every month. He would go into the bookstore and say, "Charge on Dad." And write down. So anyway, private schools are a world apart. You're lucky to be in a private school. Well, I think. Now, tell me what you think about any of the local subjects under discussion, if you are aware of them. For example, in Stockbridge, we're worried about the firehouse and provision of emergency medical. Everybody in Berkshire finds it hard to get a dentist or a doctor. What else? We got the new school at Monument Mountain, the proposal for that, and whether or not it'll be supported. And do any of these local issues sort of seep into your consciousness?
Yeah. If you've seen the Vote Yes monument signs, they're everywhere. So it seems like they have a lot of support for the new building.
Seems like.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot. Yeah. Seems like a lot of positive. But that could also be because we're in Stockbridge. Stockbridge has never voted against a school anything ever. If it's school, we vote yes. So, we'd have to drive around West Stockbridge and Great Barrington and see how that's going. Do you take any position on that?
I think it'd be nice. I went in the building, and I went with my mom one day, and she said it looked exactly like when she was there decades ago.
Oh, my gosh.
So I think it could use a refresh.
Yeah. Fiona, do you sort of respond to any of the local issues?
Yeah, my mom's really in support of the Yes Monument. My aunt's a teacher there. They put out signs and go and they help with that. But I have seen no signs around West Stockbridge too.
Yeah. I think the three communities vary a little bit in their feelings. So I think that's interesting. Well, what's the most important thing to you right now as a senior in high school in the USA today?
It's a difficult question. I mean, I'm definitely going to go to college. I'm planning on deferring a year and then attending college. But I think right now the most important thing is I want to make a really good senior project. I want to make a short film.
Good. Okay. What's most important to you?
For me, the most valuable thing would probably be traveling, like getting out of. Well, I love the Berkshires. Getting out and seeing what else is in the world, in our country and across the ocean.
Lovely. Very lovely. Steve. Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry, I just
Fiona.
want to say I definitely second that. I want to go on a senior road trip and go across the U.S. That's definitely a goal of mine.
Good. From your perspective, what's the most important right now?
given what I do, which is teach at and run a small private school in the Berkshires, it's the education of teenagers. I mean, there are many, many important things, but I'm most qualified to do that.
Not only that, but that's a very important thing.
I think so.
Very important. You are our future. And I want to thank you all three for being here. It was so nice of you to share your ideas and your time, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.